Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be cracking the code of some of the most ingenious marketing campaigns out there.
Oh, yeah?
We're going to explore the psychology behind five wildly successful brands.
Go.
Patagonia,
Five.
Nintendo, Glossier, Burger King, and Calm.
Sounds good.
We're going to be uncovering those invisible strings that just make us reach for our wallets.
It's all about, understanding what makes people tick, right? The underlying motivations that drive our decisions.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're not even aware of these influences.
I know that feeling. How many times have you bought something and then you're like, wait, why did I just do that?
Exactly. So let's start with a campaign that really turns traditional marketing on its head.
Okay.
Remember Patagonia's "Don't Buy This Jacket" campaign?
Right, like telling people not to buy your product, especially on Black Friday.
Yeah.
Seems crazy, but it worked.
It seems counterintuitive, right?
Yeah.
But what's fascinating here is how it plays on our deep-seated need to belong. You see, psychologists talk about something called social identity theory, where we define ourselves by the groups we associate with. Patagonia very cleverly tapped into this.
So it was more about aligning with a set of values than just buying a jacket?
Precisely. They position themselves as a brand for conscious consumers,
Right.
people who care about sustainability. By buying or even not buying a Patagonia jacket, you're signaling that you belong to this group.
Yeah.
It's almost like a badge of honor.
And it paid off big time, didn't it? Didn't their sales actually increase after that campaign?
They did. It was a couple percent jump in revenue.
Wow.
It shows that taking a stand for something can actually be a brilliant marketing strategy.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, have you ever been drawn to a product because it reflected your values?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe even if it wasn't something you urgently needed.
Definitely. Especially these days, I
Yeah.
find myself wanting to support brands that are doing good in the world.
It's a powerful motivator for sure. Now let's switch gears from eco-conscious consumers to the world of childhood nostalgia.
Okay.
Remember Pokemon Go? Seemingly overnight, everyone was out catching Pokemon on their phones.
Oh, I remember that summer.
Like-
I even fell for it myself, wandering around my neighborhood, feeling like a kid again.
Yeah.
What is the psychology at play there?
Nostalgia. But it's more than just a warm, fuzzy feeling, right?
Right.
Think back to how you played Pokemon as a kid. You were exploring, collecting, trading, all very active and social activities.
Yeah.
Pokemon Go tapped into these deep-seated childhood play patterns,
Right.
translating them into the adult world.
Oh.
So it's like,
So they weren't just selling a game, they were selling a way to relive your childhood, but with this modern twist.
exactly. And that's what made it so addictive, right? We crave those feelings of comfort and connection that we experienced as kids.
Right.
So it's like a mental shortcut to happiness.
Yeah.
No wonder they raked in $1 billion in just 6 months.
That's crazy.
It's amazing how a simple game can evoke such a powerful response.
It is.
But let's move on to a brand that plays on a very different emotion.
Yeah.
The fear of missing out.
Ooh.
Or FOMO.
Right.
Glossier built a whole empire around this, didn't they?
They did.
They really did.
Glossier is a master of exclusivity.
Uh-huh.
Their limited edition drops and Whisper Network marketing make you feel like you're part of a secret club.
It's like you're in the know, right?
Yeah, like their Instagram is so sleek and aspirational, it makes you feel like you need to be part of that world.
And that's where the psychology comes in, right?
Okay.
There's a theory called reactance theory,
Mm-hmm.
which basically says that when our freedom to choose is restricted, we want that thing even more.
Okay.
So when Glossier tells you their latest product is a limited edition,
Yeah.
you automatically want it more.
Right.
Exactly. It triggers that fear of missing out.
I need to have this before it's gone.
That I need to have this before it's gone.
Yeah.
Glossier's $100 million revenue is a testament to just how potent this tactic is.
Wow.
But speaking of playing on our desires, let's move on to a brand that took a completely different approach. Burger King.
Burger King really shook things up with their Whopper Detour campaign.
Yeah, it was audacious, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They turned McDonald's, their main competitor, into an asset for their own promotion.
I mean, they certainly weren't playing it safe. What I found so fascinating was how they tapped into this sense of playful rebellion. Like, you get a cheap burger, Andy, you feel like you're getting away with something.
It's like they understood that deep down we all have a little bit of a mischievous streak.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to fast food, right?
Yeah.
Which is often associated with indulgence and breaking the rules.
Totally.
So,
It's like they gave us permission to be a little bit naughty.
yeah.
to break free from the
Yeah.
expected.
Yeah.
But there was also a very clever technological aspect to this campaign, wasn't there?
Absolutely. The Whopper detour wasn't just a stunt. It was a sophisticated use of geolocation technology
Correct.
to drive app downloads and increase customer engagement.
Right. You had to be within 600 feet of a McDonald's
Yeah.
to unlock the deal on their app.
Exactly.
Talk about turning your competitor's location into an advantage.
It was a brilliant way to get people interacting with the Burger King brand in a whole new way.
Yeah.
And the results speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Over 1.5 million downloads in just 9 days.
That's incredible. That's a great example of how thinking outside the box
Yeah.
and embracing technology can lead to massive success.
It really is.
You know, it's interesting to contrast Burger King's playful, almost irreverent approach with Patagonia's more earnest, values-driven stance.
Yeah, that's a great observation.
Yeah,
They both achieved remarkable results, but by appealing to very different sides of our psyche.
totally.
Yeah.
Like Patagonia wants you to feel like you're part of a movement, while Burger King wants you to feel like you're in on a joke.
Yeah, like you're part of a rebellious, fun-loving tribe.
Right.
And both strategies can be incredibly effective depending on the brand and the target audience, right?
Right.
And it all comes down to understanding what resonates with your customers on a deeper level.
Yeah.
Speaking of deep connections, let's circle back to Calm for a moment.
Okay.
Their success story is all about offering a sense of peace and tranquility in a world that's increasingly chaotic.
It's like they're offering a digital sanctuary.
Yeah.
A refuge from the constant noise and stimulation of modern life.
Exactly. And their marketing reflects that.
Right.
Their ads are all about soothing visuals, calming voices, and familiar sounds like rainfall or ocean waves.
It's so different from the high-energy, attention-grabbing tactics we see from so many other brands.
Right.
It's almost like they're whispering instead of shouting.
And in a world where everyone is vying for our attention, that whisper can be incredibly powerful.
It's like they're tapping into our innate need for stillness, for a break from the constant barrage of information.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And their success with features like Sleep Stories is a testament to that.
Yeah.
In a world that's struggling to sleep, they're offering a much-needed solution.
It's fascinating how they've managed to turn tranquility into a marketable commodity.
It really is.
You know, when I think about all the campaigns we've discussed today, it strikes me that each one has successfully tapped into a fundamental human need or desire.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Whether it's the need to belong, the desire for comfort and familiarity,
Right.
or the craving for peace and quiet, these brands have identified a universal human experience
Yeah.
and crafted their marketing to resonate with that.
It's like they found the key to unlocking our emotional responses and driving our behavior.
And that's what makes their marketing so effective.
Yeah.
It's not just about selling a product, it's about creating a connection, telling a story, and offering something that speaks to our deepest needs and desires.
That's such a powerful insight. It really makes you appreciate the psychology at play behind these seemingly simple marketing campaigns.
It really does.
But you know what I'm starting to wonder?
What's that?
We've talked about how brands use psychology to influence us,
Yeah.
but how can we as individuals use these insights to make more informed decisions as consumers?
Right.
It feels like we're constantly being bombarded with messages designed to trigger our emotions and make us spend money.
Yeah.
How do we navigate this landscape without falling prey to every clever marketing tactic?
That's a really important question.
Yeah.
And it's something we should all be thinking about.
All right.
I think the first step is awareness.
Okay.
The more we understand the tactics being used, the better equipped we are to resist them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like learning the magician's secrets.
Right.
Once you know how the trick is done, it loses its power.
That's a great analogy. It's about being more conscious of the psychological triggers that marketers are using.
Exactly.
But what else can we do?
Well, one strategy is to focus on your values.
Okay.
Before you make a purchase. Ask yourself, does this align with what's important to me?
So if I'm drawn to a brand because they're promoting a cause I care about,
Right.
like sustainability, that might be a good sign.
Exactly. But if you're drawn to a product simply because it's exclusive,
Right.
or because it makes you feel like you're part of a special group,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe you need to pause and reconsider.
That's really helpful. It's like having a mental checklist to help you navigate the world of marketing.
Yeah, exactly.
But what about those impulse purchases?
Yeah.
Those moments where we just get swept up in the excitement and buy something we don't really need.
Yeah.
How do we avoid those?
That's where self-awareness comes in.
Oh, okay.
It's about understanding your own triggers,
Hmm.
the things that make you more likely to spend impulsively.
Okay.
Maybe it's a certain emotion like stress or boredom.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's a specific type of marketing message, like a limited time offer.
So if I know that I tend to overspend when I'm feeling stressed, maybe I need to avoid shopping when I'm feeling that way.
Right.
Or if I know that I'm a sucker for a good sale, maybe I need to be more mindful of those limited time offers.
Exactly. It's about recognizing your own vulnerabilities and developing strategies to mitigate them.
Right.
It's like building a defense against those marketing mind tricks.
This is all so insightful. I feel like I'm finally starting to understand the power dynamics at play between marketers and consumers.
Yeah.
But what about the ethical implications of all this?
Mm.
Is it okay for brands to use psychology to influence our behavior,
Right.
even if it's for a good cause?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's one that's been debated for years.
Yeah.
There's no easy answer. And it often comes down to individual perspectives and values.
I can see how it could be a slippery slope.
Yeah.
On the one hand, if a brand is using psychology to promote something positive, like sustainability or mental health,
Mhm.
maybe it's not such a bad thing.
Right. And if they're being transparent about their methods and respecting consumer autonomy,
Right.
then perhaps it's fair game.
But on the other hand, if a brand is using manipulative tactics to prey on our insecurities or exploit our vulnerabilities, then that's clearly crossing a line.
Absolutely. It's all about finding that balance between persuasion and manipulation.
Right.
And as consumers, it's our responsibility to be informed,
Yeah.
to be aware of the tactics being used, and to make conscious choices about what we support.
Well said. This whole conversation has been incredibly eye-opening.
Yeah, it
It's
has.
like we've pulled back the curtain and exposed the inner workings of the marketing machine.
It's been a fascinating exploration.
It has.
And I think the biggest takeaway is that understanding the psychology behind marketing can empower us both as consumers and as individuals.
It can help us make more informed decisions, resist manipulative tactics, and ultimately shape the kind of world we want to live in.
I couldn't agree more.
Well, I think it's time to wrap up part 2 of our deep dive into the psychology of marketing.
Right.
We'll be back after a short break to delve even deeper into these fascinating concepts and explore what they mean for us as individuals and as a society.
Welcome back to the deep dive. I don't know about you, but I'm still buzzing from all the insights we've uncovered
Yeah, me too.
on the psychology behind these marketing campaigns.
It's truly fascinating to see how these brands have managed to crack the code of human behavior and create such effective campaigns.
It makes you realize that we're not always as in control of our decisions as we think we are.
Right.
There are all these subtle forces at play,
Uh-huh.
influencing our choices and shaping our perceptions.
Absolutely. We're constantly being bombarded with messages, both overt and subliminal,
Yeah.
designed to trigger our emotions and nudge us in a certain direction.
It's like a giant game of psychological chess, and we're the pawns.
It really is. But as we've seen, understanding the rules of the game can give us a fighting chance.
Yeah.
We can start to recognize the tactics being used and make more conscious decisions.
Exactly. It's about reclaiming our power as consumers
Mm-hmm.
and becoming more mindful of the influences around us.
One thing that's really struck me is how these campaigns have all tapped into this sense of community or belonging,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's aligning yourself with Patagonia's values, reliving your childhood with Pokemon Go, or feeling like you're part of Glossier's exclusive club. There's this underlying desire to connect with others.
That's a really astute observation.
Yeah.
Humans are social creatures by nature.
Right.
We crave connection, belonging, a sense of shared identity,
Mm-hmm.
and brands have figured out how to tap into that need.
It's like they're creating these tribes or communities
Mhm.
around their products.
Mm-hmm.
And we're drawn to them because we want to feel like we're part of something bigger than ourselves.
Precisely. It's a powerful motivator.
Yeah.
And it explains why so many of these campaigns have gone viral.
Right.
People share them
Right.
because they want to signal their affiliation with that group, that idea, that lifestyle.
Right. It's like a digital badge of honor.
Yeah.
And it's not just limited to consumer products. Think about social movements, political campaigns,
Right.
even religious organizations.
They all leverage this sense of belonging to to build their base and spread their message.
Totally. Yeah, it's a universal principle.
It is.
We're all looking for our tribe, our people, the ones who share our values and make us feel like we belong.
And that's why it's so important to be mindful of the groups we choose to align ourselves with.
Right.
We need to ask ourselves, do their values truly reflect mine?
Yeah.
Am I being manipulated?
Right.
Or am I making a conscious choice to be part of something I believe in?
Those are crucial questions.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just get swept up in the excitement, the sense of community, without really examining what we're signing up for.
It really is.
Right. We need to be critical thinkers, to question our own motivations and to make sure that the groups we're aligning ourselves with are truly worthy of our loyalty.
It's about being discerning, about choosing our tribes wisely.
Right.
And it's about recognizing that sometimes the most powerful communities are the ones we create ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
The ones built on genuine connection and shared values.
That's a beautiful thought.
It is.
It's like we have the power to curate our own tribes.
Yeah.
To surround ourselves with people who inspire us and challenge us to be our best selves.
Exactly. And those are the communities that truly enrich our lives and make us feel like we belong.
Well, I think we've come full circle.
Yeah, we have.
We started by exploring how brands use psychology to create a sense of belonging, and now we're talking about the power of choosing our own tribes and building communities that reflect our values.
It's been an incredible journey.
It has.
And I think the biggest takeaway is that understanding the psychology behind marketing can empower us to make more conscious choices, both as consumers and as individuals.
It can help us navigate the complex world of advertising, resist manipulative tactics, and ultimately shape the kind of world we want to live in.
I couldn't agree more.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure exploring these fascinating concepts with you.
Likewise.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the psychology of marketing.
We hope you found it as insightful and thought-provoking as we have.
Remember, knowledge is power.
It is.
Use it wisely.
Absolutely.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay connected.